Hey, this is Billy, the permaculture pimp daddy from Perma Pastures Farm, where PIMP stands for permaculture is my passion, because it really is. Anyway, today we're going to do something that addresses some of the friends I have, some of the questions I've gotten in the recent past about, man, I'm in a really small area. What do? I don't have space. I don't have acreage. Folks, you don't need any of that stuff to be productive. If you go back to the very first videos when we were still in Texas, I was at a job that was 2.5 hours away from my home. And I managed to convince the people there to allow me to grow food and anything else I wanted right there on the property. So folks, you got ideas, you got places. Read Joel Salatin's books of all the different places you can grow things. For crying out loud, on a construction site, I had chickens. I even started a permaculture orchard. So folks, the sky is the limit. And just as a little side note, had I stayed there, I was going to do some clandestine things when it comes to chicken tractors, but maybe I'll pick that up in the future. So anyway, this video is addressing all the people that feel like they need an extraordinary amount of space to grow food. You don't. In fact, right here, what you see in this bucket is the potato harvest that Michelle and William pulled up a little while ago, that this little heathen right here is trying to get a hold of. Anyway, she's taken them, she's cut them, and Michelle's going to explain to you in a moment exactly what we're going to do here with these pots, and how you, even in the smallest of places, whether you're on a rooftop balcony, in little spaces that nobody ever considers, folks, you can be growing if you're clever, if you think about it, if you think outside the box. There's so many different places you can grow legitimate food and grow a lot of it. So we're going to use some of this compost that we've made. If you have to, use Miracle Grow, use whatever you got. Use regular soil that you can find in a reasonable place. Use whatever you have. But folks, without that, I'm not going to belabor the point without saying too much more. Michelle's going to take over and show you exactly how we go about this.
Okay, we are going to plant some potatoes that we harvested this last week. And what I did was I took some of the nicer ones for seed and I cut them so that you have like a couple of eyes on each piece. And then after I cut them all up, you just let them sit for a couple days to let the outside harden over so that no diseases or bugs or anything get to them. And we're going to plant them in these containers just to see if we can get another harvest before fall, just to see how they do. So we're going to fill these containers with a mixture of compost and some soil, probably about 2/3 of the way up. Then we're going to plant the potatoes, and then we're going to cover it back up and let it grow and see how it does. Okay, so I'm planting these a little bit tight just to see. It's a little bit of an experiment. This is pretty loose soil. It's not like we're planting in hard clay soil. So we're planting them our spacing is a little close, and we'll just see how they do.
Okay, the idea here was not to make a long, laborious video. In fact, that's never the idea. We're just trying to show you that even in a small space, you can be highly, highly, highly productive out there. I mean, this literally took just a matter of minutes. I mean, despite the filming of this, I mean, had we gone straight through, I swear it would not have taken more than 5 minutes to do all of these. So, folks, in these times, I'm getting, questions from friends asking, man, how do I go about doing this? Folks, this is one of the many ways to do it. Like Joel Salatin says, there's people out there growing weed in national parks. Nobody ever thought about growing tomatoes? Same concept here, folks. I mean, if you're let's say you're working at a job and they have space that can be used for something like this. There was a parole office next door to the job I worked at in Texas. I even got approval. It wasn't solid, but it was close enough. Approval to run sheep out there on the grass that they just had mowed every week. So folks, there are tons and tons of options out there for you to grow food, whether it's I don't care, a national park, whether it's a neighbor who has a spot you can use. If you're in an apartment and you can get something like this, you could even do it in a 5-gallon bucket. The possibilities are literally endless. I mean, clandestine places on the side of a road that nobody's ever thinking about or nobody ever looks. We are in times that are troublesome, to say the least. And food security can be what you make of it or what you don't make of it. But you're going to have to get out there and put in a little bit of work to get it done. So, with that said, until next time, this is Billy, the Permaculture Pimp Daddy, where PIMP stands for Permaculture is my passion. Because it really is. We'll see you next time.